Ah, there we go. Boom, doo doo doom, doo doo doom, doo 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 doom, doo doo doom, doo doo doom, doo 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 doo. Okay, so that's a test. That's a test to see if you know what that's from. And I don't know why, but it is. Maybe you can figure it out while I play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dawg Night. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. People are rolling in slowly. If you were here right there at the beginning, once I turned my mic on, I did well, if you know what that bass line is from, then you're pretty old. uh, anyway, it was the beginning of well, maybe someone knows. I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm not going to tell you. Oh, I didn't shave. I just noticed that I didn't shave. Okay, whatever. Hey, good morning. It is Friday, October 25th, 2019, on the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, me, P Dawg Night. And I'm glad that the early risers are here. Well, I don't know if early risers. It depends on where you live. If you're on the West Coast, you're an early riser. If you're in the Midwest where I live, it's just kind of a normal time of day to be awake. But so, hi everybody. Richo, you get the bell because you were here first. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Sheograth, Side-Town J, D.I. Freighter, Johnny Hellcat, Rolling Bear, MC, Hammer Time, and whoever's lurking or just walking in. I'm glad you're here. We're just gonna roll with it. I'm sorry, I'm a tiny bit late, but that's not unusual that I'm a tiny bit late. But my friend Monkey's over there streaming right now too. So that's part of the why I was listening over there. And what was he? There was something he was talking about over there. Oh, dang it! I closed the window, so I can't even find the chat. It doesn't really matter. He started mentioning him. Good morning, Greed Badger Outdoors. How you doing? Hi there. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. So yeah, because I get people. I was surprised that I was getting people from other parts of the world occasionally, and so I gotta appreciate all of you. So let's. All right. So today's Dawg Park Friday, and I don't have a guest today. So I think what I'm gonna do, we'll make this sort of a call in. And here's my question, and I'll remind you of the question of the day, and then if you'd like to join me, I will send you a link either through Twitter DMs or by email. You can just put it in the chat if I'm not already following you. And if you want to come on the show and ask your question or bring up your favorite story of the week, that's what I'm asking. What's your favorite story of the week or of the last 24 hours? Anywhere from earlier in the week, and we can kind of go through that. I got a couple, though, that I'm going to start with until, if anyone wants to come in, let me know. Half an hour off. No, I'm not. Oh, okay. Something. Oh, that's something in the chat. Okay, never mind. I just got some bookmarks, some things I bookmark on Twitter. It's kind of random, kind of what I do on Fridays. I do the random kind of catch up for the week. And oh, good gosh. So 10 is that 11 or 10 a.m. there, Richo? I'm in this. You're at Central Time, so you're the same as me. It's 9 o'clock. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're talking about something else. Okay, so we all know the story of this kid in Texas, and I've been loath to talk about it. The 7-year-old in Texas whose parents are having kind of a custody battle. Mom wants him to be a transgender girl, and he's a little boy, and they have twins. I talked about it a little bit the other day. Oh, thanks, Johnny, for putting my Streamlabs link in the description. Also, if you guys want to do super chats, I'll do those through the Streamlabs. And oh, I see. What else? What else we got here? Oh, and share and like and all that stuff too. Please, that helps. Share it helps me out a lot. Super chats help me out a lot, or just donations. That's up to you. Oh, Richo, you're an Aussie. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, got it now. I didn't know you were an Aussie. Okay, well there you go. See, people all over the world enjoy the morning night live, but it's really morning for you. If it's 1 a.m. No, that doesn't sound right. It's gotta be you gotta be somewhere in the evening right now. Anyway, I don't know. No, England's in the evening. What am I thinking here? 7 hours ahead. Because my father's in Nigeria, and it's a 7 hour time difference, so it's in the afternoon there. So yeah, it could be early. I don't know. I get lost when I start getting into time zones all the way around the world. But anyway, there's this now Matt Walsh is a person from the Daily Wire who's been just tweeting a storm about this. And so for an example, he put this tweet out 3 days ago. This woman is pure evil. Here's the interview. It's a father interview, an interview with the father of the boy. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, the father and mother separated or divorced or whatever. They have joint custody or joint custodialship, and of twin boys. Now, I think both were in vitro. They weren't. Whatever. It doesn't matter. That doesn't even matter. There are two sons, and so one of the sons, they're 7 years old, and the mother says the boy is transgender and calls her Luna and says she's a girl. And so when the child is at the mother's house, she's a girl with mom. Luna makes mom happy that she's Luna, and then she wears dresses, and she enrolled her at school as a girl named Luna. Where's that breeze coming from? That's weird. Oh, that's my fan. Duh. Anyway, and then, when he's with the dad, he dresses in boys' clothes, and dad tries to get him, offers to wear girls' clothes, but he will not wear girls' clothes around his dad. So clearly it's this thing where, he's trying to please the mom. And they show interviews with the kid, and I don't want to put him on the screen, although now there's a short video of the kid being interviewed about, what is this, what is that, and it's on the internet now, and of course, so many people have retweeted it, and Donald Trump Jr.'s now retweeted it. Anyway, long story short, there was a court case, and the court said, the jury, it was with the jury, and 11 of 12 members of the jury said that the mother should have full custodialship, and that she should be able to proceed with whatever types of transition for this 7-year-old boy that she wants, which includes puberty blockers, and people keep saying chemical castration. They're not there yet. They were but starting on hormones and all this stuff, as for a 7-year-old, and most kids don't have a really fully functioning logical brain until they're in their 20s, and it's, so the father's different. Well, now the judge in the case who said the judge was going to make a ruling on it. And the ruling now is the judge says, nope, we're gonna hold off on this. We're gonna set aside the jury's decision, and we're going to study it. And then now the governor of Texas is involved, and they're talking about legislation and whatnot. But I just don't understand it. And I'm not a medical professional, but you just got to think that, what, there are kids who thinks that they are turtles when they're 7. And so you're not going to transition a kid to be a turtle. And it's such an amazing, life-altering thing once a lot of kids who claim to be a boy or a girl, different than whatever their I say physiological sex or is, grow out of it pretty quick. Okay? And especially with puberty, when they get different feelings and they get the urges and hormones and shit, that changes y'all up. So why would you ever actually transition someone before they go through puberty? Well, the argument from the transgender community is that it's easier to transition if you do the puberty blockers. But if you do the puberty blockers, how is the kid ever going to go through that and understand and have? Oh my God, it hurts my head. Anyway, so there's this Dr. Jennifer Gunter. Now, Matt Walsh has been tweeting about it for days. And finally, this Dr. Jennifer Gunter replies to Matt Walsh. And so here's the tweet here. And she says, "Hi, Matt. I'm a doctor. I think you are having some trouble, so allow me to help. Gender is not defined by whether you have a uterus, ovaries, or penis scrotum. So now you have a scientific opinion from a medical expert." Now, let me just give you a little bit about Jennifer Gunter. She's an OBGYN, appropriately confident, lasso of truth, Canadian spice. I speak for no one but me. Oh, wait, what? You say you speak for nobody else but me. Oh, okay, so your scientific opinion from one medical professional probably isn't enough then, right, Jen? Anyway, she writes the Vagina Bible bestseller. Oh my God, Jensplaining, New York Times contributor. She's a very, if you go through her feed, she's a veritable, she's very left wing. She's an accomplished doctor. I'm not saying she's a bad person, but so anyway, so she, down here farther. And Matt Walsh blogs, "Since you want scientific answers, we must be kindred spirits. Here's what the American College of OBGYNs has to say." Now, fantastic information here that she gives us. She goes and sends the clinical guidelines, okay? Clinical Guidance and Publications Committee, Opinions Committee on Healthcare for Underserved Women, Healthcare for Transgender Individuals. That's the name of the file. Here's what she references when she says the words, if you want scientific answers. She gives this particular committee opinion. Now, when you read this committee opinion, tell me if you notice what's missing from this committee opinion. So let's just go through this abstract a little bit. Okay, so abstract. Here's the abstract. Transgender individuals face harassment, discrimination, and rejection within our society. Okay. Lack of awareness, knowledge, and sensitivity in healthcare communities eventually leads to inadequate access to, underutilization of, and disparities within the healthcare system for this population. Although the care for these patients is often managed by a specialty team, obstetrician gynecologists should be prepared to assist or refer transgender individuals with routine treatment and screening, as well as hormonal and surgical therapies. American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists opposes discriminations on the basis of gender identity and urges public and private health insurance plans to cover the treatment of gender identity disorder. Okay. So far, so good, I guess. I'm pretty sure. Now, let's read on. Transgender is a broad term used for people whose gender identity or gender expression differs from their assigned sex at birth. Now, there's a little definition down here in box 1. I think this is box 1 right here. Let's see. Does it say anything about that? It doesn't really. I don't know why they use that as a reference, because there's nothing in the box that says assigned sex. Okay, let's just stop right there. Okay. If Dr. Jen here, when she talks to him, gender is not defined by whether you have a uterus or okay. Where is it here? Did she put it down here? Okay, so anyway. She didn't put it down there. So your sex isn't assigned at birth; it's observed. Okay. The only time that it may be assigned possibly is when there's an anomaly, meaning ambiguous genitalia, for example, under intersex conditions, where they may mistakenly assign or observe something that may not be correct. So I always hated that term assigned sex at birth. No, sex is observed. Okay, if there's a distinction between sex and gender, then sex is observed, and then gender generally corresponds with sex. Not always. Obviously, we have transgender people, but gender is not a scientific, well, it's a sociological term. Sex is a physiological term. Okay? So we have sex, physiological, gender, sociological. All right, so that annoys me there. But they're trying, see, that's how the transgender community uses the language to describe this phenomenon. So I'm not complaining. I just want to make sure make sure that we get this correct. Because even, scientists, let's say, when we say a physiological, biological term, let's say if we're talking about, panda bears. Okay. Is the sex of a panda bear, when a veterinarian goes to take care of the new baby panda bear, is the sex of the panda bear assigned or is it observed? Okay? And that's with any animal in the entire animal kingdom, which we are a part of. We are an animal in the animal kingdom. Okay? So it's not assigned, it's observed. But anyway, they go on. However, there's no universally accepted definition. No universally accepted definition for the word transgender because of the lack of agreement regarding what groups of people are considered transgender? Hold up. So your scientific opinion here, Dr. Jen, is based on something in which there's no universally accepted definition of the word transgender. Fantastic. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing there. Continuing. In addition, definitions often vary by geographic region and by individual. Wouldn't the science community come up with a standard practice or whatever? Anyway, we'll keep going. Regional individual. The American Psychiatric Association Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 4th edition, text revision, considers transgender individuals to be individuals with a disturbance in sexual or gender identity. Any combination of sexual and gender identity is possible for transgender individuals. That's also in box 2. They give you a list of different transgender definitions. The diagnosis of gender identity disorder is only established for individuals with a clinically significant distress and functional impairment caused by the persistent discomfort with one's assigned sex, observed sex, and primary and secondary sex characteristics. If untreated, gender identity disorder can result in psychological dysfunction, depression, suicidal ideation, and even death. Well, death is the suicidal ideation, meaning that there is a higher risk of suicide, and we don't want that. We don't want that. We want transgender people to be healthy. Let's not get this twisted. I have nothing against transgender people, but I'm curious about this Dr. Gunther's. She's, again, her opinions are her own, so that's why I suppose she gave this. Prevalence rates of transgender populations are not clearly established. However, studies suggest that transgender individuals constitute a small but substantial population. Well, that means nothing. So there's a lot of subjective terms in this. Additional research is needed among this population, as outlined by the Institute of Medicine report, Health of Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender People, building a foundation for better understanding. The social and economic marginalization of transgender individuals is widespread. Harassment, discrimination, and rejection occur frequently within an individual's own family and affect education, employment, and housing opportunities. Transgender individuals, particularly young transgender individuals, are disproportionately represented in the homeless population. Once homeless, individuals may be denied access to shelters because of their gender or are placed in inappropriate housing. I wonder what that means. Subsequently, many hopeless transgender people turn to survival sex, the exchange of sex for food, clothing, shelter, and other basic needs, which increases the risk of exposure to sexually transmitted infections and becoming the victims of violence. In one small study, 35% of male to female transgender individuals tested positive for human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, 20% were homeless, and 37% reported physical abuse. Okay, so then they move on to barriers for healthcare, just because they face significant barriers. But let's go down. So that we're going to go with box 1 because they have some definitions here. Transgender definitions. Transsexual, any individual who strongly identifies with the other sex and seeks hormones or gender affirmation surgery or both to feminize or masculinize the body, may live full-time in the cross-gender role. Now, they have an asterisk. The asterisk is, let's see, where is it? The health. This is very confusing because this screen isn't very. I need a better monitor over here on my second monitor. The health of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender people building. Okay, this is just where it's from. Okay. Cross-dresser, an individual. Okay, now this is fascinating. Not completely understanding is a cross-dresser. So they call a cross-dresser a transgender. Cross-dresser, an individual who dresses in the clothing of the opposite sex for reasons, for the reasons that include the need to express femininity or masculinity, artistic expression, performance, or erotic pleasure, but do not identify as that gender. The term transvestite was previously used to describe cross-dresser, but it is now considered a pejorative and should not be used? By who? Who made that a pejorative? And does it matter? Okay, you're cross-dresser or you're transvestite, it's different. And here they're assuming that a sex has specific clothing and also says do not identify as that gender. But are they considered part of the transgender community now? Curious. Bigendered individuals who identify as both or alternatively male and female, as no gender, or as a gender outside the male or female binary. Well, male and female are not gender terms. Male and female are sex terms. So you can't, it's almost impossible. And this is my own non-expert opinion, but it's almost impossible to be outside of that male or female binary from a physiological standpoint, unless you have that anomaly. Now, notice I'm not saying abnormality. I'm saying anomaly because as far as being intersex, having ambiguous genitalia or traits of both because of a chromosomal abnormality. I said it again. Anomaly. I'm not saying abnormality because there are some people who get really upset when you say abnormality. Because you're calling them abnormal. No, an abnormality means just different from the most common. Common. Oops, I almost spilled my coffee. Common or most likely, least likely. An abnormality is something that is the least likely to happen. And it is an abnormality, just like, because it's usually what happens is there's the people who have these intersex conditions have an extra chromosome or an extra, they have a anomaly in their chromosomal pattern. So they might have it might be XXY or XXYY or XYYY. They have a chromosomal anomaly. Just like someone with Down syndrome has a chromosomal anomaly. Okay? So, anyway, intersex. Individuals with a set. Oh, here we go. Intersex. Individuals with a set of congenital variations of the reproductive system that are not considered the typical for either male or female. Anomalies. This includes newborns with ambiguous genitalia, a condition that affects 1 in 2,000 newborns in the United States each year. So then they have to go other tests to decide to figure out if they are, if they have male or female sex organs, if they have functioning sex, whatever. That's so that's the one case where I understand where that a sex might be assigned, but the rest are not assigned. They are observed. Your sex is observed. Okay, and now I know it's controversial for me to say this in some circles, but no matter how or what kind of surgery you have, no matter how many hormones you take, no matter what you do, you cannot change your sex. That's very controversial to say. Now, you can change your physical characteristics to be more like the other sex. You can change social cues, meaning clothing, makeup, or how you carry yourself, or hormonal treatments can change certain physical aspects of your body because the hormones do that. But in the end, if you end up on a deserted island and no longer have your hormones, your body will revert back to your original sex. Now, of course, if you have surgery, you certainly can have lost parts of your body that were there. That doesn't mean that you become the other sex. It just means that you have a cosmetically changed body. Okay? Like, for example, if someone gets a boob job, well, they are boobs, but they're never real. Right? They're never real. The silicone in your body doesn't mean that they're real. It just means they look bigger. It's a cosmetic change to your body. Okay. Anyway, and then they got female to male, refers to someone who is identified as a female at birth, who identifies and portrays his gender as male. This term is often used after the individual has taken some steps to express his gender as male, or after medically transitioning through hormones and surgery, also known as FTM or trans man. Male to female, which refers to someone who has identified as male at birth, but who identifies and portrays her gender as female. This term often used after the individual has taken some steps to express her gender as female, or after medically transitioning through hormones and surgery, known as MTF or trans woman. Now, here's why I'm going through this. Here we go. Here's the other box. Box 2. Because any combination of sexual or gender identity is possible for transgender individuals. In box 2, here's their definitions down here. Sexual identity and gender identity definitions. Sex. Designation of a person at birth as male or female based on anatomy and biology. Now, what do they have down here? Okay, this is where they get the glossary from there. Designation. Notice they don't say assigned, because it's not assigned. It's observed. Designation of a person at birth as male or female based on anatomy or biology. Notice they don't. It's interesting they don't give a definition for male or female in this. At least there's not one in here. And they also don't, like, for example, they don't give a definition for man or woman. They don't give a definition for boy or girl. But male or female is the, notice they use the word male or female based on anatomy or biology. Okay, so those are observed. Gender identity. a person's innate identification as a man, woman, or something else that may or may not correspond to the person's external body, and they say, or assigned sex at birth. It's not assigned, it's observed. Because in the sex definition, the designation of a person is at birth as male or female based on anatomy and biology. So it's not assigned, it's observed. And this assigned drives me insane. Now, I know people that for trans people, I understand. You want to say, you were assigned this gender at birth based on your sex. Okay, so when they say it's male or female, and you want to say, well, no, because they called me a boy, but that's just what I've been assigned. I'm really a girl, and I understand you have that dysphoria or whatever that makes you need that, but it's okay. Anyway, all right. So then, gender identity, we did that. Gender expression. Now, this is the one that gets me. Okay. How individuals present themselves socially, including clothing, hairstyle, jewelry, and physical characteristics, including speech and mannerisms. This may not be the same gender in all settings. So gender expression is just how you make yourself look, how you act. And again, in some ways it's based on gender stereotypes, right? But I thought we weren't supposed to have gender stereotypes. So I know it's a frustrating thing for me because I'm old and set in my ways and whatnot, but I get it. I understand it completely, but it's still hard. Sexual orientation: a person's physical, romantic, emotional, or spiritual attraction to individuals of the same, lesbian or gay, different, heterosexual, or both biological sexes, bisexual. Sexual orientation does not define the real-life sexual practices and behaviors of an individual. Also, sexual orientation, well, that becomes ambiguous because do you base it on gender or do you base it on sex? So, for example, a trans woman who is physiologically male attracted to a term I hate, but I'm going to say it, cis woman, or a physiological woman, another physiological woman, are they heterosexual or are they lesbians? That's a tough one. I mean, for their definitions based on your, let's say you had a very, very passing, well, okay, here's my answer. I got an answer for this. But a very passing transgender woman, you didn't know she was ever a transgender. You just looks very authentic female, dating another biological or uteral or whatever they who is the gender critical people say natal woman or physiological woman, born physiological woman. I'd say they're lesbians, but isn't the term? So the term's homosexual, right? It's not homogenderal. So if you take Riley Dennis and her, I said his, her, I didn't do that on purpose. Riley Dennis and her girlfriend, what's her face from Down Under. Well, he's a physiological male. She's did it again. I'm not doing that on purpose. She's a physiological male, but dating not to be insulting, but natural born female. Well, they're not. It's not heterogenderal. It's heterosexual, and so we go by your sex. Is anyone else's head hurt right now? Hi, Marsupial Gamer. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Straight Sith Male. Diesel Dave. Richard, we were here. Chicago Mike. RVA. I'm saying hi to everyone I haven't said hi to yet. If I missed you, get in the chat some more. Lindsay, how you doing? Duck Dog. D.I. Frater, you were here. Okay, I think I got you. It's just so... I know. Is this the boomer in me? I don't know. Anyone else have trouble with this? And you can't... And they don't even all agree. Okay? Remember this line from up here? However, there's no universally accepted definition of the word transgender because of the lack of agreement regarding what groups of people are considered transgender. Right? But anyway, so what's fascinating, so I've been through this entire thing, and it ends down here. Notice there's something missing in this this thing that Dr. Jennifer Gunter, there's something very, very missing. I know, Marsupial Gamer, I know, but I'm just trying to be nice. So she refers Matt Walsh to this committee opinion, stating that since you want scientific answers, here's what the American College of OBGYN has to say. What's missing from this committee opinion? This isn't a committee opinion on the science of transgender. It's a committee opinion on best practices for transgender individuals. Okay? There's nothing in here about the science of it. This is just how they've decided to accommodate people who are part of this community. And that's fine. They need to figure it out because there's a lot of different health issues that people who are transgender have to deal with. Particularly when you have this dysphoria, when you never have to be, a transgender woman never has to worry about having a hysterectomy or a period, okay? But they certainly seem to be controlling the world and whether or not you can talk about periods in certain settings, at a women's conference where they're having something about periods, and then the transgender women get mad because, well, not all women have periods. Well, great. All females, physiological females, for the most part, unless there is an anomaly within your body, if there's an anomaly that you don't have periods, but for the most part, only females have periods. Female being the physiological sex. So when they take the female symbol off the package of always tampons or pads or whatever, because the transgender men who have periods because they are physiological females, why? A trans man who has a period is still physiologically a female. And the transgender women who will never have periods, so can the ones who do have periods talk about them anymore? Okay, fine. All women don't have periods when you include the transgender women, because women are women. But a lot of the women, a vast majority of women do have periods. Can they talk about them? And in fact, there are some physiological women who have anomalies in their anatomy that do not allow them to have periods or get pregnant or have children. They're still physiological women. It doesn't mean all physiological women have periods or all physiological women have children or all physiological women have to go through menopause but in general, most likely a physiological woman will go through puberty, get periods, have eggs, and whatever number of eggs they have the possibility of getting pregnant. Doesn't mean if they don't get pregnant, they're not a woman. They're still a physiological woman. They might have the plumbing, but the plumbing there has some anomaly that doesn't never work. But they're still women, okay? Because a lot of the arguments I've been seeing on this, where the people get into this argument and they say, well, the always thing. And, oh, well, only women have periods. Well, are you saying that women don't have periods? Aren't women? Like, what about those people? No, we're not saying that. But we are saying that they're only the people who have periods are physiological females. Now, I said women because I'm trying to accommodate, and I screwed up with that. But because I'm Marsupial Gamer, you're right. I'm twisting myself in the knots being nice. Toasted Network, how you doing? Dumbbeard, how you doing? Toasted Pincalo, how you doing? Grillin' Pie, I said Grillin' Pirate Pete. No, Grillin' Pirate Pete, you just got here too. Hey, what's this question? Don't mean to be weird, but don't all women shave? What? I'm not sure I understand the question. Do all shave what? And no, not all women shave. There's a lot of women in the world, and they don't all shave. Some do, some don't. Anyway, but here's what's missing in this committee opinion. This information should not be construed as dictating an exhaustive, exclusive course of treatment or procedure to be followed, nor does it have any science in it. All it is best practice on how to deal with the sociological trend and or phenomenon of sociological and psychological phenomenon of transgendered people. There's no science about it here on whether or not that 7-year-old boy should be forced to transition by his mother at age 7 years old. So, Dr. Gunter, with all due respect, what'd she say? I speak for no one but me? Good. You keep doing that because you said nothing here by presenting this information. That's not a scientific answer. All these are definitions of a sociological and psychological phenomenon. There is no science in this little thing you gave to Matt Walsh. Sorry, there's not. So, there's a lot of science and there's a lot of research into this, but no, actually there's not. That's the problem. There's not a lot of research. And also, what's happening with a lot of these kids who transition at a young age? What do? They change their minds. And I'm going to guess that a majority of them if any kid who one time said they were something different than what they are viewed as, observed as, a vast majority of them just end up being what their physiological body is, okay? Because again, some little kids think they're a bunny. And some little boys say they're a girl. But you know what? It just turns out that they were just play acting with some other kids. And so, and in this particular case, now this is an opinion. I don't know all the facts of the case, but my opinion is, as I've read over this case over and over and over. Hi, G Prime, how you doing? Over and over and over, I've read about this case, and and this is what came out in court. The people when the boy is with his mother, okay, and I'll just say boy because it's easier, and that's what he is right now until there's officially transition. When the boy's with the mother dresses him as a girl. The mother calls him Luna. The mother enrolls him in school as a girl, or calls her a girl. And that boy, it pleases the mother. In fact, there was one point, and it's in the court case, the mother apparently had locked the boys in a dark room, and was telling them that monsters eat little boys, but they don't eat little girls. Now, if this is true, that's fucking child abuse. And that's why, so when he's when he's with his mother, he's a girl that he wants to dress in dresses and whatever. But when he's with his dad, He refuses to wear dresses and wears clothes and says he's a boy. So clearly, this 7-year-old kid is trying to please both parents. And she just happens to be a doctor. And the other part here right now, it's just like if you want to go shopping for doctors that will prescribe narcotic pain relief, you can shop around for doctors who will prescribe that. Well, it's kind of that way with transgender children, it seems like. Although right now, it's so hip and faddish to want to be special that you deal with transgender children, and of course you should transition your child at a young age because that's the newest thing in medical science, and you are trendsetting, and you are so woke and you're so progressive by doing it. But aren't you? You're making a permanent change for a 7-year-old kid. You're listening to a 7-year-old kid who doesn't even know, hasn't lived any life to know the difference between what boys and girls even are. All they know is that there's some of their friends get called boys, some of their friends get called girls. Some of them like to play this, some of them like to do that. And mom is happy when I am here in my place, and mommy likes it when I'm a girl. So, okay, I'm a girl when I'm at mommy's house, but daddy likes it when I'm a boy when I'm at daddy's house. Talk about fucking up a kid. I'm telling you, it's insane. But that's that. A lot of girls shave their face. Not all, though it was a typo. Oh, okay. I'm not sure where I missed something in that conversation. So now, and I'm thinking of, and here's the other thing. You notice how, as of late, parents and kids who are particularly anomalous, as in anomalous, meaning transgender kids or the drag kids or the transgenders on TV. Notice how they get a lot of attention and get a lot of praise for that now. Do you think it's possible that some of these people get drunk on the praise? Because like RuPaul's Drag Race, that's a show that's on. I can't remember what station on. I've seen it once. I don't know where was I when I saw it. I was at someone's house and they had it on. It's an entertaining show. These guys in this drag pageant and they compete like a reality show, right? And then there's that. What's the girl name that? There's a girl that who is it on Lifetime? Jade or whatever. Jade, the transgender girl that you've been watching. This kid since they were like 10 or 11 years old, and they're on TV, right? And the parents are just praised for being woke, for allowing Jade to be this transgender, and they put the Jade on puberty blockers. And then you had an episode where they wanted to actually do a physical transition on this Jade, who was, I think, maybe 14 or 15 at the time. I'm like, why are you doing first of all, why are you doing a reassignment surgery on a 15-year-old? But then the puberty blockers cause abnormal development of the sexual organ, so they didn't have enough sexual organ to actually go through with the surgery. And I don't know if they've gotten by that or not. But man, the parents on these cases are just praised. Oh, you are such jazz. Thank you. You are so special because you are this great parent, and you are so progressive, and you've allowed your child to be what they really are. What happens when that child actually has some sort of pubescent awakening and decides they're not that anymore? And you put that kid out into the public eye as one thing. You know, I've been watching, there's shit all over the internet, and there's, I think over Great Britain, they had just a wave of people who are detransitioning. And some of the people who detransition go through just agonizing times because, you go on the hormones, then you remove the hormones, and it's very hard on your body, and you go through it, but transitioning back after you've already told everybody that you're this, after you've already transitioned and you've made everyone change everything, and then suddenly you got to go through a detransition and you got to change back. That, how you wonder why. It's the suicide rate of transgender doesn't change once people transition either, at least not so far. But that's the other thing. The research is so limited. And I don't know, man. You would think you would want to err on the side of caution. But suddenly we're at a point where, nope, we don't want to err on the side of caution. We want to err on the side of expediency and get it done because, that's what there are, and you're going to ruin their lives if you don't. So frustrating. But Dr. Jen Gunther, I should have put this one up. I meant to have this one yesterday because even though it's not FTG Thursday, I want an FTG for Dr. Jen Gunther. FTG, sorry. FTG, Dr. Jen. And yeah, that isn't a scientific opinion. That's a best practices doesn't mean it's a scientific opinion. It's just definitions. It's just what they say. Now, if one of the other things you wanted to cite, Dr. Jen, you didn't cite anything else, but if one of the other things you wanted to cite was actually something scientific, let me know. I'd love to have you on my show and we'll talk about it. I'm sure you are a doctor. You probably know way more than I do. But that's not a scientific opinion that you gave to Matt Walsh. That's a best practices opinion. Best practices doesn't have anything to do with science. You have a best practice opinion on lots of mental illness issues. Okay? Doesn't mean that's the science of the mental illness. That's just the best practices when dealing with people with that particular mental illness or anomaly. All right? So there. All right. What else okay, let's move on because that was a rant. I do that sometimes. I get in that was a hell of a rant, wasn't it? Okay, now here's a couple things, and I have some odds and ends. By the way, if you are interested in jumping on for a question or your favorite story of the week that you have, you can either email me at pdognight@gmail.com. Right? Well, that's my Twitter handle. You can DM me on Twitter. My DMs are open. Or you can email me at pdognight@gmail.com. In fact, I'll open up that email thing so I can, if you do that, I can find it. You can do it either way. They're both ready. Let me know in the chat if you email me, because I don't get any kind of notification for that. All right. So some other odds and ends. Let's see. So let's see. Oh, so yesterday we talked about the Republicans who had their protests in Adams' skiff. And so this David Levitt said every GOP member who invaded the skiff should be taken into custody by the Capitol Police and questioned by the FBI to determine if they're serving a foreign intelligence service. Otay! Oh, did I just do a white power symbol? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. They should also be removed from the House until the investigation is completed and voted out of office. He meant voted. Nick seriously says, you don't have a police state you long for yet, totalitarian. It is still legal to oppose you, leftists. Calm down. And so this guy, here's the one I highlighted because this is an interesting reply. You mean conservatives don't have their totalitarian state yet? But between Boris, Trump, Putin, Jong-un, Erdogan, Assad, and the regime in Saudi Arabia, you're certainly close, aren't you, fascists? Now, let me make an observation about this, because it's fascinating he put Boris and Trump in that list. Boris Johnson of Great Britain, obviously. Tell me how exactly there is a totalitarian state in the UK or the United States. Anybody? A totalitarian state. Well, let's just stick with the United States because that's a lot easier, and I'm very, 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 very more familiar with it. The situation here. So this guy, and I hear this all the time. Trump's a fascist. Trump is a dictator. Trump is a authoritarian, right? So, in this authoritarian state, that is the United States. What's happening right now? Well, just tell me something that's happening that may or may not, well, probably wouldn't happen in what would be a totalitarian state. Let's see. There are Democrats holding private hearings on the possibility of impeaching the president. Oh, because they're having an impeachment inquiry. Weird. In a totalitarian state, the opposing political party is having an impeachment inquiry. Now, weird thing about that is the impeachment inquiry is something that the opposition party has put together without voting on it. Huh. So the leader of the section of government that is having the impeachment inquiry hasn't even voted on having the impeachment inquiry. It just was kind of handed down by the leader of the party of the people having the impeachment inquiry. They haven't voted on it. That's what would you call that? There's a word for that. Oh, it's right here. Totalitarian. But the president, who's listed in this list of people that this person considers totalitarians, hasn't just squashed the impeachment inquiry. Right? And in fact, the person that they listed here, named Trump of the United States, hasn't had a single one of those people who decided to have the impeachment inquiry, hasn't had a single one of them arrested yet. Oh, here's the other thing. So this totalitarian dictator authoritarian named Trump, right? If you turn on the TV and just flip through, let's just say the news shows on the news, the channels with news, right? The channels with news and the news shows, I would say that if you turn on the TV, or better yet, even open up a newspaper. Let's take all news outlets. You take a newspaper, you take the TV news, and I would say that roughly, let's say 80%. I'm going to say 80% of the news outlets in this totalitarian, authoritarian dictatorship are extremely critical of the guy that this guy listed, named Trump, this Trump guy he keeps talking about. Right? How is it that this dictatorial, totalitarian, authoritarian guy hasn't shut any of these outlets down? Now, I know he complains about them a lot, but it's weird because you would think a dictatorship, totalitarian, authoritarian would have them shut down for opposing him. But no, he just bitches about them on Twitter, on his own little Twitter feed. And he doesn't even say the government Ministry of Journalism and Truth has to shut down these other, all these news outlet and whatever, the CNN and New York Times and Washington Post and MSNBC and NBC, ABC, CBS and local news and regional news and Chicago Tribune and Los Angeles Times and the Topeka Sun and whatever, that all oppose him. He hasn't had them shut down. What a terrible freaking totalitarian, authoritarian, dictatorial, whatever thing guy. Terrible. He's terrible. Fascist. He's a terrible fascist. He sucks at being a fascist. So there you go. Donald Trump sucks at being a fascist. He's terrible. By the way, thank you, Chicago Mike, for the $10 super chat from the Streamlabs link down below. It says, thanks for the commute off to work. Have a great day, sir. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day at work too on this beautiful Friday afternoon. And Mike, have a great weekend. Thank you. That is such a generous super chat. I really appreciate that. Anyone else want to do super chats? The link is in the description down below or somewhere in the chat too. He's the worst freaking fascist, totalitarian, authoritarian dictator I've ever heard of. Just saying. Next. Oh, by the way, if anyone wants to jump in the dog park, let me know via DM or email. I'll keep... Oh, thank you. Oh, shoot. That was a mistake. Oh, I'll have to cut that out. We're not... Oh, there's my thing there. All right, moving on. Here's something interesting. Now, you've heard the breaking news, and this is actually... Let's... I may not even do Twitter today. Well, we'll see if anyone jumps in the dog park. Wait, sorry, I don't have the link to what? What are you linking what to, G Prime? I have to send you the link if you want to jump in the show. So you gotta either go to my DMs or you can just tell me my DM when you want the link, and I will send you the link if you have a question. By the way, so it's Dawg Park Friday. This Dawg Park Friday is just random Dawg Park Friday, meaning that anyone in the chat, if you want to jump on and ask a question or tell me about your favorite story of the week, I'll give you like 5 or so minutes to jump in and do that, and I'll send you a link to where to go to do that. All right, moving on. So we know that the wait. Are you doing voice calls and on Discord? No, I'm doing it on. I'm using Hangouts for it. And I'll just send you the link. I have a Hangout window open. You can still use Hangouts if you didn't know that. And so I'm using Hangouts for that. And I will send you a link for that. I'm not on Discord. So let me know. What does jump in the dog pound mean? It means that well, sometimes I'll have guests on the show on Fridays. And on other days, I'll just have a kind of open call. If you want, do it like a call-in. So today is more like a call-in. If you'd like to, if you have a question or something you'd like to come on and ask it out loud using your voice rather than your typing skills, send me a DM and I will send you the link and we'll bring you on, and then I'll kick you off after we're done with you. if you're trying to, for those who weren't here earlier, I meant to tell everyone that. Hey, so here's the deal. Guess what? You probably heard this, but the report, DOJ review of the Russia probe origins, is now a criminal investigation. Ha ha. Well. Things are about to get interesting. I had a funny little clip. Hang on. I got a very appropriate clip for this. Hang on. Hang on. Listen, it's going to be a criminal investigation, and this is very, very important that I share this with you. Hang on. Okay, here's the most appropriate clip for what's happening right now. Hang on. Put a YouTube window up. There we go. Here we go. Because it's turned into a criminal investigation. Listen up, people. And there you go. That's the appropriate. That is the appropriate. It went again. How'd that happen? I didn't want that to happen. All right, that's the appropriate soundbite for that. I'm gonna probably have to clip that and put it in my normal thing. So the DOJ. Where's my article? There we go. Department of Justice sweeping review into the origins of the Trump-Russia probe has evolved into a criminal investigation, according to the New York Times. The launch of the criminal probe allowed U.S. Attorney John Durham, the prosecutor tapped by Attorney General William Barr, to lead the review to subpoena witnesses for testimony and documents. The move also authorizes Durham to impanel a grand jury and file charges. If true, this shows Bill Barr is doing exactly his job. Following facts, those who damaged America and broke the law to spread this hoax are about to face accountability, according to Mark Meadows, Republican North Carolina, in a tweet. The development comes after an NBC report revealed Barr recently expanded his agency's review, noting that Durham has found something significant and critics should be careful. As a part of the inquiry, Durham has sought interviews with CIA analysts to assess Russia's activities during the 2016 presidential election, prompting some of them to hire lawyers. Yeah, there's a few of them who probably should hire lawyers. We'll get into that in a moment. Actually, let's get into that now, because that's what my next bookmark's about. Let's see here. Okay, I got you here. Okay, G Prime, I'll get you. Let's see, shared a tweet. Oh, okay. All right, okay. Yes, I have seen that. Let's see. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. What the hell? What happened here? Oh, back to where I was here. Bookmarks. Where am I at? Okay, here's my notifications. Oh, okay. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna read that one too in a minute. All right. So this next one I clipped. This is someone named Technofog. Breaking news: Sidney Powell filing in the Flynn case. Now this is interesting because this is kind of part of all this thing. I'll just give you the short story, a short version of this. So Michael Flynn, who had originally pleaded guilty to whatever it was they were charging him with, lying to the FBI or whatever. Apparently, his attorney has decided to withdraw that pleading because it was kind of a plea bargain. Because, apparently they thought they had some evidence against him. But now they found out, according to this, that Lisa Page, special counsel to Deputy Director McCabe, resigned because she edited Mr. Flynn's 302. Now, 302 is the documentation of the interviews with somebody. She edited it after the fact, changing something. Now, here's what it was. Wait, where is it here? Hang on a second. Where is it? Oh, anyway. Well, also the other part, the defense has requested the phone records of James Clapper. Oh, to confirm his contacts with the Washington Post reporter David Ignatius. So James Clapper is one who's been leaking stuff to David Ignatius at the Washington Post. There's some issues with that too. Let's see. Stephen Halper is a long time. Okay. Stephen Halper is a long-time operative of the CIA FBI. He was paid exorbitant sums by the FBI, CIA, DOD through the Department of Defense Department's Office of Net Assessment in 2016. His tasks seem to have included slandering Mr. Flynn with accusations of having an affair with a young professor, a British national of Russian descent. Flynn met at an official dinner at Cambridge University when he was the head of the DIA in 2014. Flynn has requested the records of Colonel James Baker because he was Halper's handler in the Office of Net Assessment in the Pentagon, and ONA Director Baker regularly lunched with Washington Post reporter David Ignatius. Baker is believed to be the person who illegally leaked the transcript of Mr. Flynn's calls to Ignatius. So there's a violation that I'm sure is going to come up in the DOJ criminal thing. The defense has requested the phone records of James Clapper. James Clapper, isn't he the former director of the NSA, National Security Administration? Clapper to confirm his contacts with Washington Post reporter Ignatius, especially on January 10, 2017, when Clapper told Ignatius in words to the effect of, "Take the kill shot on Flynn." And then they start talking about Kislyak and all this other crap. But anyway, so Durham has been tasked with determining whether the Justice Department, FBI, intelligence authorities improperly surveilled the 2016 Trump campaign as a part of their investigation into the now debunked coordination with Russia during the last presidential election. Special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation found insufficient evidence of a criminal conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russia. The hard-nosed U.S. attorney has reportedly received briefings on the four corners of the FBI's use of Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act warrants, known as FISA, as parts of its controversial counterintelligence operation into the Trump campaign. Durham is specifically reviewing the FISA warrant obtained by the FBI to surveil former Trump aide Carter Page, as well as general issues relating to surveillance during the 2016 campaign and matters flowing from the FISA process, Fox News reported. Now, here's what's happening. Let me just translate that a little bit. There are clear abuses to anyone and possible charges to anyone who signed that FISA warrant. Because when you put something like that, whether or not it's the main reason or whether or not it is a peripheral reason that they started this investigation, when you put something, submit something to a FISA court, you are saying that the information in that FISA, that piece of, let me rephrase this because I blew that. What you are saying is anything you submit to a FISA court, you are, by putting your name on it, you're saying that it is true. It is researched and true, right? Well, we know that when James Comey testified for Congress, before Congress, he described it as a salacious and unverified document. Weird. But you used a salacious and unverified document as part of the reason to get warrants to surveil the aid of a presidential candidate? Salacious and unverified, but you submitted that to a court saying that this is verified? Is there a problem here? You see where that might be a little bit of a problem? And then they reused it 4 times? They renewed that FISA warrant 4 times based on the information you had, but you didn't really have? Starting with the false dossier by the guy who hated Trump, paid for by the Democrats, paid for by the DNC, paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign. This is going to get interesting. And you know what? I think a lot of this, this whole impeachment inquiry, you think they might have knew that something's going to come down the pike because we know that where John Durham is snooping and where Attorney General Barr is doing. Now, they're doing their best. They're doing their damnedest to poison the well as far as Attorney General Barr. They constantly say that, the Democrats say he's not trustworthy, he's biased, he's this, he's that. Trump is using the Department of Justice to attack his political enemies and investigate. You're investigating. Why are we investigating this nonsense? We just went through all this investigation of Russia, and that messed up. So why are we wasting money doing this? Well, don't you think maybe, just maybe, we should figure out how this mess started, right? It's fascinating. The Democrats seem to have the strategy. Well, we're going to find something on Trump now. Let's go to, the Russians didn't work, and the obstruction of justice is going to be tough because it would be a new precedent. But Ukraine phone call. Hey, let's have an impeachment inquiry over this Ukraine phone call. Now, this brings me back to a little bit to that Ukraine phone call, though, because so they are saying that Trump wanted a quid pro quo so that they would investigate Joe Biden, a political opponent, right? But remember, we've read the transcript or the memo that commemorated that phone call. What did Trump actually ask for as a favor, right? He asked for cooperation in investigating corruption, not for the 2020 election, but for the 2016 election. Now, we know for a fact, because it's been reported in Politico and the New York Times, that the Democrats actually had some relationship with Ukraine regarding to getting kind of foreign interference, although they don't call it foreign interference, because then you might have to charge them with the same things you were trying to charge Trump with, right? Collusion with the foreign government to try to try to influence an election in the United States. So the Politico and the New York Times didn't call it that. But it's kind of what it is, right? Oh, that's my doorbell. I don't need my doorbell. Anyways, that's kind of what it is. So now Durham, the review into the origins is now a criminal investigation. So they will impanel a grand jury. They will call witnesses. They will subpoena people. They will subpoena documents that they don't already have. It seems to be right now a game of who's going to get there first. And it's going to get really messy. There's going to be a lot of fighting and infighting and all that stuff. It's going to get really interesting. Just saying. All right, let's run through a quick list of Twitter trends. We won't. Okay. I will just pop this out. G Prime put out something funny here. This is from the Babylon Bee, everyone's favorite satirical news site. Hillary Clinton accidentally posts condolences for Tulsi Gabbard's suicide one day early. It is with great sadness that I heard of Tulsi Gabbard's suicide this morning. She was a patriot and will be remembered. Rest in peace, my friend. You guys, that's hilarious. I saw that the other day. There's some people going, don't say shit like that too soon. I just put a link to it in the chat if you want to read that. It's a pretty funny story. Nice job. Thank you, G Prime. I appreciate that. Also, who else did the? Oh, here's the other one that someone sent me. Tyler F, thank you. Niche Gamer. Let's see. U.S. House of Representatives approve anti-meme case act? What? This can't be real. This can't be real. Oh, this is brutal if it is. Here, I'm going to try to open this article. Oh, here we go. U.S. House Representatives. Is this true? U.S. House of Representatives approve anti-meme case act. Oh, what is this? Okay, so on October 22nd, the United States House of Representatives voted 410 votes to 16 abstain, in favor of the Case Act, dubbed the anti-meme law by its critics. The Copyright Alternative in Small Claims Enforcement Act of 2019 was introduced by Representative Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat, New York, on January 5, 2019. The bill's purpose was to help content creators utilize small claims court for copyright infringement, as the current law means copyright disputes must go through the more expensive federal courts. This would create a copyright office who would have a tribunal of copyright claims officers to work with both parties in an infringement lawsuit. Damages would be $15,000 at maximum for each infringed work, and a total of $30,000. Speaking with The Verge, Jeffrey stated, "The internet has provided many benefits to society. It is a wonderful thing, but it cannot be allowed to function as if it is the wild, wild west with absolutely no rules. We have seen that there are bad actors throughout society, and that the world who take advantage of the internet as a platform in a variety of ways. We cannot allow it." Kiss my ass. The bill has been criticized by some, fearing it result in prosecution of people simply creating or sharing memes, creating parodies, reviews, and other forms of transformative works. The American Civil Liberties Union, oh, good for them, wrote to the committee on September 10th, stating their fears and the claim that the Case Act will result in false or abusive claims like the DMCA Act. Here's what they say. However, we believe that changes are needed to ensure adequate safeguards for due process. Oh, fuck off, ACLU. Any system to enable easier enforcement of copyright claims runs the risk of creating a chilling effect with respect to speech online. Look, that's probably going to go straight to the Supreme Court. So this is just the ACLU's case against it, I think. Holy shit. The letter continues arguing for additional safeguards to ensure voluntary participation. Oh my God. To that end, there are a few ways in which the Case Act could be improved to protect free speech and due process rights. You know what? Wow. Let me get. I gotta read that whole thing first. That's me no likey. Let's put it that way. I'm gonna save that, put it over there. All right. All right. Let's do a quick round of Twitter trends because I got to get out of here. Let me get there first, and we'll be ready to go. Just a second. I had it set up, but I clicked on the wrong page. All right, here we go. All right, Twitter trends for today. The Fridays are in full effect on the beginning. Number 1, 2, and 3 are all Friday things, Friday feelings, Friday thoughts, not thoughts, and Friday motivation. Let's do the top Friday feeling on my feed, which is Neil Ruddock, as in Razor Ruddock. Looking back at old pics, I realized that committing to improving my health by losing weight was definitely one of the best decisions I've made. Nothing is more important than your health. Thanks for all your support. It doesn't even look like Razor Ruddock, but he did gain some weight and looks like he got it back. Okay, so good for Razor Ruddock. That's his Friday feeling, and that's what we're doing for Friday feeling. Razor Ruddock losing some weight. Good for him. Orlando Scandrick is number 4 after we get past the Fridays. No idea what that is. Orlando Scandrick on Undisputed. Oh, he's a dude on Undisputed. And I don't know what, it's a sports show. Oh, no. Okay, here it is. Oh, no, he's used to play for the Eagles. Orlando Scandrick got released by the Eagles, and he's now on Undisputed taking shots at Malcolm Jenkins, Lane Johnson, and Howie Roseman. Just listening to him talk, clearly he wants to rejoin the Cowboys. Okay, so he's a little salty, and he's on a show, and I'm not going to... Okay, so that's what that is. Scary Scammers Contest. The thing about Scary Scammers Contest that everyone is missing is that we're on the verge of runaway climate change, and we need to completely rethink of the global economy to ensure that a just society, avoid planetary catastrophe. What? Okay, Scary Scammer Contest. Congratulations, you won a timeshare trip to the Bahamas. Can I have your credit card information for identification? This is the IRS, and if you don't pay your balance, we will have the local police arrest you. Scary Scammer Contest. Hello, this is Verizon Wireless. The fake FBI computer virus where they told you had to pay a certain amount to get it off your desktop or laptop. Okay. We have abducted your child from school and have a ransom of $20,000 to get said child back. That's the actual words they used. It was also 4 a.m. Okay, so they're just giving a list of scammers that calls they've gotten. King Ahab. Oh, wait. Lou Dobbs. What is Lou Dobbs training for? Oh, Brooklyn Dad Defiant. Hooray! My favorite progressive anti-Trumper. On a day when some of the most obnoxious people in America are trending, Lindsey Graham, Lou Dobbs, Tulsi Stein, and Bill Barr, Hillary Clinton is eulogizing Representative Elijah Cummings, and President Obama is scheduled to do so also. They can help wash the yuck out of today. Wow, that's interesting that they asked Hillary Clinton to do this. Apparently this is live. No, this is a Hillary Clinton begins eulogy of, and rest in peace Elijah Cummings. I'm still going to say that. He's dead. I'm not going to argue with him while he's dead. Hillary Clinton begins her eulogy of Representative Elijah Cummings. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, because this is the day for the homegoing celebration of a great man, a moral leader, and a friend. Rest in peace, Elijah Cummings. I'm surprised that Hillary Clinton wasn't struck by lightning for being in church. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. Lou Dobbs will be acting secretary of some department in the Trump administration soon. Trust me. Okay. The president just tweeted a quote from last Friday's edition of Lou Dobbs tonight. Left Fox. Okay. Fox Business. What did he? Okay. Why is he trending? Because Trump. That's why he's trending. Donald Trump tweeted something. He said, here it is. Donald Trump is an absolutely historic president already. In less than 3 years in office, his record is there for everyone to look at and to examine and compare. This is an illegitimate effort to overthrow a president, not a formal impeachment inquiry. And that's a quote from Lou Dobbs, and Donald Trump says, thank you, Lou. So that's why Lou Dobbs is trending, and everyone else out here is probably just trying to burn Lou Dobbs to the ground. We'll move on. King Ahab. Why? Why is King Ahab? Oh my God. Hillary. Why? Clinton memorializes Cummings for standing against corrupt leadership of King Ahab in a veiled shot at Trump. That wasn't veiled. Like a prophet, our Elijah could call down fire from heaven, but he also prayed and worked for healing. Like the Old Testament prophet, he stood against the corrupt leadership of King Ahab and Queen Jezebel. Oh my God, Hillary Clinton. That's why King Ahab is trending. Okay. FTG. FTG. I know it's Friday, but FTG. Facebook News is trending because I think Facebook News is launching. On Friday, the company is publicly introducing Facebook News, a new section of the app that will promote a wide variety of stories. I'm sure there's people pissed about that for somehow. All the normies would probably be like, All right, moving on. Lindsey Graham is trending. Lindsey Graham said Trump would pay if he fired Jeff Sessions. Trump did. Graham backed down. He demanded sanctions on Turkey for invading Syria. Trump lifted them. Graham backed down. He said storming a skiff was nuts. Hours later, Graham backed down. You know what? Could Lindsey Graham be any more obsequious? Okay, that's from the Washington Post article. Of course, because it's Dana Milbank, the most important person in opinion news from the Washington Post, which is a dedicated anti-Trump newspaper right now. They did literally everything I see from the Washington Post is about Trump. They give him more publicity than his own campaign does. But you know what? I think Trump lifted the sanctions on Turkey because, if you didn't hear, there's now a permanent ceasefire between Turkey and Syria because the sanctions that Trump was putting on them, Turkey decided, that might not be in our best interest. So there's a permanent, now we'll see how long it lasts for real, but a so-called permanent ceasefire. So basically it's just something to drag Lindsey Graham. Tropical Depression 17 means there's another storm comes somewhere near Brownsville, Texas, Houston, New Orleans. Oh boy. Tropical Depression 17. It's supposed to merge with a cold front and become post-tropical by tonight. Hazards related to wind, rainfall, and coastal flooding will be covered by products issued by the local National Weather Service forecast offices. Okay, so if you're in Texas or the Gulf, if you're in the Gulf of Mexico, keep informed about the weather that's trending your way. Obnoxious, I'm sure that has something to do with Trump. Yep, obnoxious and greedy politicians will never make it. Trump tweeted it trends. Obnoxious. You can look that up yourself. Kwesi Apfumi. Now, he was the congressman who was head of the Black Caucus. Oh, okay. So he's trending also because he gave a stirring remembrance of Elijah Cummings. Yeah, Kwesi Apfumi kind of left the house in what's the word? Not in chains, not in shackles, just in disgrace. I'm just saying he is. And then he went on to be the leader of the NAACP for a while, or he still is, I think. But he had some little scandals going on. He decided to leave the House representative, not run again. Good Friday, Maria Butina, Jose Andres, who's going to throw out the ceremonial first pitch if there's a Nat Game 5. Interesting. Donald Trump is not going to be throwing out a first pitch at the World Series this year, and he'll be the first president, not the first president who hasn't done it World Series, but he hasn't done it during his presidency yet in any game. Either a lot of times opening day or World Series where presidents go and throw out a first pitch. So we'll see if that ever happens. Apparently, Donald Trump was a baseball player when he was younger. He was actually a very good baseball player. According to reports, I don't know if he really was or not, but, especially if it was self-reported, but who knows. Anyway, so Jose Andres is going to throw out the first pitch in Games 5 if there is one. Maria Butina, she's the Russian agent, of course, according to The Hill, to be released from prison Friday. Oh, there you go. She was released from prison this morning and was taken into custody by U.S. Immigration and Naturalization Service. The prison says she's expected to be deported to Moscow. You know what's funny? They arrested her in connection with the government probe into the Kremlin's interference in 2016 election. I think it's all bullshit. I really do. She just is she's a scapegoat for a crime that didn't happen. I'm just saying, you just never know. She was here because there's people in Russia who are interested in the NRA. I have a hard time with that one. I just think it's one of those. It's kind of like the dude. Remember the dude who made the video and made some video, and then the federal government, the Obama administration, blamed that video for what happened in Benghazi. I think Maria Butino's like one of those people. Okay, I think she was maybe in the wrong place, at the wrong time, and they found it convenient to tap into her. No, that's probably not the best terminology for what that is, but that's my opinion. I have a feeling Godfather 4 is trending because there's a new album by a couple rappers who named their album The Godfather 4, and BB Winans. Oh, please not be something bad about BB Winans. Okay, no, BB Winans sang "Stand for You Church Folks Watching Representative Cummings' Funeral." Okay. BB Winans is a famous gospel singer if you're not familiar. So that's it for today, guys. I got to get the hell out of Dodge. Hey, thanks for being here. You know how much I appreciate you guys, and thank you especially to Chicago Mike for the $10 super chat today, and for people who've been doing those super chats over the last few weeks. It's been really a huge help. I may actually buy some new equipment with that money. I kind of dedicate anything I get in the super chats to what I'm doing here. And as I accumulate money, I fix things or replace things that were stolen, like this microphone that I have here. But I need to get a mixer and whatnot. But I gotta go. It's time for me to do that. I do want to thank you again. Also, before you go, on your way out, if you haven't already hit a like button or dislike for Duck Dog, and or if you haven't shared the channel or shared the show or shared the channel, please do that on social media. That really helps. That's how I got up to the 400 plus subscribers I have. I would love to see that 500 number hit, maybe even 1,000. If you like what I do, somebody else would maybe likes what I do. Someone who likes the kind of stuff you like, you know. Hey, Midnight Exile, I just noticed you're here. Hi, and Tyler F. I don't know if I said it already, but I appreciate you guys too for coming, even if you come in afterwards, after we start. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. And that's kind of it. So thanks. You guys all have a great weekend. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a great weekend. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.